Oh my goodness. I swear, I'm not meant to play a mage. I'm just not. But I will at least tell you what mages can do. What a mage can do. Whether or not I can actually do it, that's different. But okay, here we go. So, fire mages, in terms of their abilities, they have Blast Wave, which causes an explosion around the target, enemy, or ally. Dealing a certain amount of... Actually, I think Blast Wave is a talent, right? Yeah. Should I do this before? Yeah, I should do this before I talent, I think. I can't really untalent at this point, though. What is Inferno Blast? This? Interesting. Interesting. Alright. Well, anyway. We can read... These are the talents that I have anyway. We can read them anyway. So, Blast Wave, we know what that one does. That's a talent. I'll read more about that in a second. You have Blink. Teleports the caster 20 yards away, as usual with Blink. Cinderstorm is another talent, I can read in a second. Combustion is engulf yourself in flames, increasing your critical strike chance by 100% for 10 seconds. Also grants you mastery equal to your critical strike stat. So, it's gonna make you guaranteed to crit, have a lot more damage, and set you on fire, which is really cool. Just looks beast, too. You can conjure up some refreshments. You can counterspell on a 24-second cooldown. You can Dragon's Breath, just... Targets in a cone in front of the caster take a bunch of damage and are disoriented for 4 seconds. Any direct damage will cancel the effect, but not dots, which is nice. Fireball. There's a fiery ball that deals a certain amount of fire damage. Flame Strike calls down a pillar of fire, burning all enemies within the area for a certain amount of damage, or summons a little box if you have a glyph, obviously. Not real. Just the animation's not working right. Still funny though. Frost Nova. Nova Peeps. Roots him for up to 8 seconds. Ice Barrier shields you for damage. Ice Block is Ice Block. Ice Flows, this is a talent, so we'll read more about that later. Inferno Blast, you blast the enemy for 5,000 damage. This is always a critical strike, so if you need another crit to sort of get yourself a Pyro Blast, that's one of the ways to get a guaranteed crit. Invisibility, it's a 5-minute cooldown, turns the caster invisible. While invisible, you're untargetable by enemies. But this is different than the Arcane Invisibility. The Arcane Invisibility was a shorter cooldown, and it was instant, and you got damage reduction before, or during, and after. This is not. So, this is just regular old Fire Mage and Biz. Living Bomb is a talent. We'll read that more about that later. Sheep. Normal old Sheep, you can do a portal. Pyroblast hurls an immense fiery boulder that causes a bazillion damage. Scorch. Spammable. Sort of short cast. 1.38 seconds. Cast while moving, you can slow fall, you can spell steal, you can teleport, you can time warp. All those things are pretty much the same. Cold Snap, this is a talent, we'll read more about it later. Passive, I don't think this is a talent. This is just straight up something else. Multiplies the critical strike chance of your Fireball, Pyroblast, and Scorch by 1.3, that's cool. So you do want to stack a lot of crit, obviously, as a Fire Mage still. Enhanced Pyrotechnics, each time your Fireball fails to critically strike a target, it gains a stacking 10% increased critical strike chance. This effect ends when Fireball critically strikes a target. So if you just keep casting Fireballs and you're not getting lucky with crits, this will help you have increased critical strike chance. Hot Streak. This is another classic Fire Mage thing. Getting 2 critical damage effects in a row will make your next Pyroblast or Flame Strike spell instant cast and cause double the normal ignite damage. Okay. Incanter's Flow. Magical energy flows through you while in combat. This is a talent, though. We'll read more about that later. Ignite. This is your mastery. Your target burns for an additional 46.5% over 9 seconds of the total direct damage caused by your Fireball, Inferno Blast, Scorch, Pyroblast, Cinderstorm, and Flame Strike. If this effect is reapplied, any remaining damage will be added to the new Ignite. Every 2 seconds, your Ignites may spread to other nearby enemy. That sounds super fun for Fire Mage. Molten Armor increases your spell critical strike chance by 15%. It also reduces all physical damage taken by 6%. This is just straight up passive. And a Pyromaniac is a talent that we'll read about, which is the first one on the list. Alright, we can go over to talents now. Pyromaniac. I've chosen this one. This kind of just random talent, so that's okay, though. Casting Pyroblast while Hot Streak is active has a 10% chance to instantly reactivate Hot Streak. So you basically just sort of proc Big Daddy Pyroblasts over and over and over. Or you can take Conflagration. Enemies affected by Ignite have a 10% chance to flare up and deal a bazillion fire damage to nearby enemies. That's kind of cool. And Fire Starter. Your Fireball spells always deal critical strike when the target is above 90% health. So like if you want to start the fight with a Fireball into a, whatever Inferno Blast combo, you're guaranteed a Pyroblast right to start the fight. So that's an option. I don't know about PvP though, but maybe. If you want to cast Fireball first thing PvP and then do the same thing, you could. These are your offensive cooldowns, same thing as other mages, at least Arcane Mage. Shimmer, Blink has 2 charges, is off the global cooldown and be cast while casting. That's pretty cool. Cauterize, instead of being dead, you have 35% health, and then you burn for 28% of that health. But you also run really, really fast, and your movement speed is increased, and movement slowing effects are suppressed. But Cold Snap gives you 2 Ice Block charges and heals you for 3% of your maximum health, just like Arcane. Mirror Images, Rune of Power, and Incantress Flow, that's the same for all mages. Makes 3 copies of the caster, and then cast spells. People last 40 seconds, 2-minute cooldown. Rune of Power, 45-second recharge. Place a Rune of Power on the ground for 10 seconds, which increases your spell damage by 50% while you stand within 8 yards of it. And Incantress Flow. Magical energy flows through you while in combat, building up to 20% increased damage, and then diminishing down to 4% increased damage, cycling every 10 seconds. Okay. So these are more talents. Blast Wave. This creates an explosion around the target or ally, dealing 10,000 fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards, and reducing their movement speed by 70%, which is really annoying, for 4 seconds. A primary enemy target will take 70% or 100% increased damage. Okay. Sure. Flame On, you guys keep asking about this. When activated, grants 2 charges of Inferno Blast. So if you need crits, then you just go ahead and start it up with at least back-to-back those things if you wanted to, or Controlled Burn. When you gain Heating Up, you have a 10% chance to instantly activate Hot Streak. I might want to take passives instead of Blast Wave. Blast Wave is really annoying, but I think I'm just gonna stack passives because I'm really, like, fundamentally terrible at mages. So the more passive things, the better. Ice Flows, your next mage spell can be cast while moving. Castable, castable while moving, while another spell is in progress, and affected by the global cooldown. Okay. All right, Ring of Frost. We already know that one. An Ice Word. Frost. I'll just go with Ice Flows, I guess. Living Bomb. Targets become a living bomb, taking dot damage, and explodes at the end of it to deal more damage and AoE damage. This is unstable magic. This affects your fireball. Basically, makes it do it has a chance to do AoE, I guess. And Flame Patch. Flame Strike ignites the ground, leaving a patch of fire, which burns enemies within it. All right. I'll try my luck with Living Bomb. Kindling is your Fireball, Pyroblast, and Inferno Blast. Critical strikes reduce the cooldown remaining of combustion. That's kind of fun. So that's what I use it for. But Cinderstorm is another ability that throws an arc of 6 cinders that travel in an arc, I guess, and deal a certain amount of damage to enemies. This damage is increased by 30% if the target is affected by your Ignite. Okay. This is the Meteor. Just drops on a Big Daddy Meteor, blows everything up. Might try to use that. I'm going to try Cinderstorm first, though, just for fun. But okay. Those are the abilities and talents. Next up for your viewing pleasure, you get to see me try and fail miserably at playing Mage again. Just, it conflicts with who I am, but we'll try it anyway. Let's go.